Hey everyone, welcome to week 3, our final week deep diving into New Year's resolutions, how to avoid failing them so you can crush it in 2018. Before we get started, make sure you have all of your materials in front of you, all of that beautiful hard work you've already put into it so that you can put the final touches. Let's recap for just a moment. Step number 1, you should have that vision, the crystal clear picture of where you feel and see yourself by the end of the year. Step number 2 was to take that vision and break it down into realistic and specific goals. I challenged you to have at least 3 of those in multiple areas of your life. And again, kudos to the people who did more. Plus your bonus breakthrough goal, that scary goal you probably didn't tell anybody about. You've got that written down, the one thing that could just make your year for you, all rolled into one. Then last week we moved on to step number 3, which was to take those larger goals and break them down into mini goals, and then even further into 3 action items to do each day so that you aren't just sitting around thinking about your goals, but you're actually in action. Hopefully you've been consistent each and every day working on those 3 action items. And then step 4 last week that we talked about was falling in love with the process. Now, some of you might still be going through a little bit of that trial and error, trying to find the process for each of those goals that feels right to you. That's okay. Don't give up. Keep trying. It's not too late. Stay with it. Keep reaching out to multiple resources if you just can't find the right process. It's out there, I promise. So now that you've gone through these 4 steps, we're going to sit back and talk about step number 5, which is maybe where you're feeling right now. And I used the word overwhelmed last time when you were just looking at your goals. Now that you've started into action, you might be feeling really overwhelmed because, my opinion, the 5th reason people fail is because they take on too much. So how do we get out of that? I gotta be honest with you, you're gonna have to let go of something. Now, when I decided to take on a lot more in 2014, I had to really sit back and look. What was my vision for myself? What were the goals? And what was I currently doing even before I started into my new goals? What was my current life, that life that I was living? And was it still aligned to that vision, to those goals where I wanted to be? And there were definitely some things that I was doing that was taking up my time that were not going to get me to that new vision I had for myself. And I had to let go. One of the examples was a networking group that I was a part of. And it was a wonderful organization, and it brought a lot of really good things to me for several years. And it was aligned to the goals that I had over those previous years, but it was no longer in line with my current vision and my current goals. And so I had to make a hard choice and say, no, I have to let that go. Of course, there's that fear of letting other people down and not being part of a group that you've been part of. But if it doesn't align with where you want to go today, you have to make those difficult choices to let go. And that allows you to make room for the things that you really do want to be doing, the things that are going to help you get to those goals by the end of the year. So I want you in just a moment to put me on pause because you're going to take a hard look and an assessment of where you are spending your time, because we all have the same amount of time every single day. It's about where we choose to spend our time. And what are some of the things you're currently doing that do not align with where you want to be? And how are you going to remove those or at least minimize the time spent on those activities? So again, this is not going to take you just a couple of minutes. It might take you some more time. You may even have to pause me and come back tomorrow. But whatever it takes, I want you to really take that assessment of where you're spending your time. Does it align with where you want to go? And if not, what's your plan to remove it or minimize it? Go ahead and put me on pause now. Okay, so now that you have a plan of how to take control and make sure that you haven't taken on too much, you've really narrowed in on those things that are going to get you to your end goals. The final piece that I want to talk about is support. A lot of people do not hit their New Year's resolutions because they lack a good support system. In fact, they might have the opposite of support in their life and be surrounded by negativity, surrounded by people who think that you can't achieve those goals, that the things you're trying to work toward are ridiculous and insane. Let's reduce the time spent with those types of people. If you can, cut them out of your life. Go find people who share that common drive that you have. Find people who are already doing the things you want to be doing and they're doing it successfully. Go reach out to them. Find a mentor. Find a support buddy. Somebody who is going to help you, who really cares just as much about them hitting the goal as they do you, helping you get there. There are tons of networking events and groups and clubs and organizations. Again, it's going to take a little bit of time, but that could be one of your action items you put down for tomorrow. It's to go find a new support system, somebody that will help you stay accountable. As I mentioned last week, I offer that as a free resource through my weekly newsletter. You can comment below, email me, get a hold of me, or you can even ask for more support and accountability by joining our monthly program. Whatever that resource is for you, I want you to find a strong support system, something that is going to allow you to let go of some of that pressure you have on yourself and almost put it in the hands of someone else who's really going to be there as your cheerleader to help you succeed by the end of the year. So that wraps up the 6 steps of how to keep on track with your New Year's resolutions so you don't become a statistic and drop it by the end of February. Please reach out, share your success stories. Let me know if you have questions. I'm here to help you live a happy, healthy, and balanced life. Until next time.